Hello, good afternoon, friends. Myself is Shad Ali Muhammad, and today I'm gonna speak about the tools and techniques for project risk identification process. So, project risk management. Let us understand first project risk management, the systematic process of discovering, accessing, prioritizing, and reducing possible risk to a project's success is known as a project risk management. The basic goal of project risk management is to proactively identify uncertainties, both favorable and negative, that may impact project objectives and then design ways to effectively address and manage them. So the risk identification process is in agile projects is a continuous and iterative process that occurs throughout the project life cycle. Unlike traditional project management approaches, which generally identify risks early in the planning phase and then remain relatively static, agile risk management is more adaptable and integrated into the project's regular activities. So let us know when to identify the risk in agile projects. The following project risks are usually identified should be identified during the project initiation phase. To identify the potential high level risk, the team should undertake a preliminary risk assessment at the start of an agile project. This sets the basis for more extensive risk analysis later on. Sprint planning. There should be a sprint planning. The development team discusses the tasks they will work on before to start of each sprint. This is an opportunity to identify hazards specific to the sprint task. Daily stand-up meetings allow team members to communicate any hurdles or issues they are experiencing or facing, which may be suggestive of possible hazards. And retrospective meetings. Agile teams hold retrospective meetings after each sprint to reflect on the sprint's outcomes. During this discussion, the team can go over any risks that came up during the sprint and brainstorm ways to mitigate them in the future by proper planning. So, continuous monitoring. The team should continuously monitor the progress, performances, and any chances in the project's context that may introduce new risks or modify current ones throughout the project. So let us discuss the ways to identify the risk in agile projects. Risk identification in agile projects necessitates a proactive and collaborative strategy that encompasses the entire project team. Here are a few methods. Let us discuss. Regular brainstorming meetings should be held with the project team, product owners, stakeholders, and any other relevant participants. Encourage open dialogues, open discussion to identify the potential hazards related to the scope, technology, resources, and external dependencies of the project. So risk workshops. Hold risk workshops where the teams may focus on identifying and accessing the risk in a structured manner. Engaging stakeholders. Engage the stakeholders, communicate with stakeholders on a regular basis, including end users, consumers, sponsors, and subject matter experts. And the SWOT analysis. Perform a SWOT analysis to identify internal and external elements that may have an impact on the project's success. And examine the dependencies between various project components and external systems. Determine the risk associated with the availability and stability of these dependencies. Analyzing changes. Keep an eye out for the changes in the project requirements, scope, and external variables, as they can present new risks that must be addressed. Let us understand the risk identification mistakes by agile project management team during a project. How does a risk occurs? Risk starts. So although the agile project management is a dynamic technique, it is not an immune to risk detection errors. The following are some common mistakes. Overlooking non-functional risk. Stakeholder involvement is limited. Failure to include all the important stakeholders in risk identification might result in the loss of valuable insights and inadequate time for reflection, because agile teams frequently work in the short periods, short iterations, and ignoring past lessons, past project lessons, and overconfidence in risk mitigation strategies, due to and also due to the lack of team diversity and not adequately documenting risk and neglecting the external dependencies, inadequate risk monitoring. So, to avoid making these risk identification mistakes, agile teams should stress clear communication, involve all important stakeholders, set aside enough time for risk analyses, and foster a culture of learning from past experiences within the agile framework, emphasizing the work importance of risk identification and the management can lead to be a more successful project outcome. Thank you. That's all.